It was the morning of September 14, 2007 in Doncaster, England. 14-year-old Andrew Gosden got up as usual, put on his school uniform, said goodbye to his family, and left the house. But Andrew didn't go to school. Instead, he walked to a nearby ATM, withdrew £200, his entire savings. Then he walked to Doncaster train station, bought a one-way ticket to London, and boarded the train. The last confirmed sighting of Andrew Gosden is CCTV footage walking out of King's Cross Station in London alone. No backpack, no suitcase, just a young boy in a school uniform who walked into a city and vanished. This is the Midnight Mystery Archive. I'm Kevin, and tonight we follow the unexplained journey of Andrew Gosden, a brilliant, introverted teenager who left behind a life of routine and walked straight into the unknown. Andrew Gosden was born in 1993, the youngest of two children in a quiet, loving family in Doncaster, South Yorkshire. He was intelligent, with a love of math, science, and video games. He had perfect attendance at Macaulay Catholic High School until the day he didn't show up. On September 14, 2007, Andrew's family recalls a perfectly ordinary morning. He put on his purple school blazer, picked up his backpack, and walked right out the door. But rather than heading to school, Andrew took a different path. He went to a local cash machine, withdrew £200, nearly all of his savings, then walked straight to Doncaster train station. He purchased a one-way ticket to London, declining an offer for a return ticket. This was unusual. Andrew rarely traveled alone. He had never been to London by himself, and yet he seemed calm, composed. The train left at 9:35 a.m. and it arrived at 11:20 a.m. And CCTV cameras captured him stepping out of King's Cross Station, walking purposefully into the city. In the days that followed, his family struggled to make sense of his decision. Why London? Why without telling anyone? His parents checked his room. His video game console was left behind. His passport was untouched. His passport untouched. He had even left his £100 birthday gift, a sure sign he hadn't planned a long trip. Those who knew Andrew described him as quiet, introverted, but deeply intelligent. He preferred video games, rock music, and reading. He wasn't rebellious, and he had no history of running away. He was even a member of the Young, Gifted, and Talented program, recognized for his academic excellence. And yet, on a random September morning, he simply walked away. When Andrew didn't come home that evening, his parents assumed he'd missed his train. But by the next morning, panic set in. They contacted police. A missing person report was filed. But critical hours were already lost. A 14-year-old boy just leaves for school, walks to a train station, boards a train, and walks into one of the busiest cities in the world with no luggage, no known destination, and after King's Cross Station, there's nothing. When Andrew Gosden didn't return home that night, his parents assumed he'd missed his train. But when he wasn't home by morning, they called the police. What began as a standard missing persons report quickly spiraled into something far more troubling. Early missteps cost precious time. Local police initially believed Andrew had simply run away, a common assumption for missing teenagers. But then hours passed, and days. But when investigators reviewed CCTV from Doncaster train station, they saw the truth. Andrew had purchased a one-way ticket to London, and by the time his parents knew this, he had already been missing for 2 days. The last confirmed sighting of Andrew is CCTV footage from King's Cross Station around 11:20 a.m. on September 14, 2007. He is seen walking calmly through the station. There doesn't appear to be hesitation, no panic, and then he vanishes into the crowds. But London is a city of cameras, and that's what makes this so strange. Despite his distinctive school uniform, no further footage of Andrew has ever been confirmed. It's as if he stepped off of the camera and out of existence. In the days that followed, missing person posters appeared across London. Police reviewed hours of CCTV footage from nearby streets. Nothing found. Rail workers were interviewed. No one recalled seeing him. Hotels, hostels, and shelters were all contacted, but there was no record of a boy matching his description. His family traveled to London, handed out flyers, spoke to strangers, everything they should have done. But the city, vast and indifferent, swallowed them whole. Over the years, tips and sightings trickled in, but none could ever be verified. The sighting of a boy matching Andrew's description at a video game shop in London was never confirmed. A call claiming he was seen with two men in Oxford Street turned out to be a dead end. And an email sent to the Gosden family years later suggesting he was in fact alive in Spain was determined to just be another cruel hoax. Every lead brought hope, and every dead end led to despair. Back home, investigators dug deeper into his personal life. His mobile phone was left at home and was never used. His passport was untouched. His bank account remained inactive after the £200 withdrawal. His video game console was still in his room, plugged in. Andrew's disappearance seemed deliberate, but there were no clues as to why. As months turned to years, theories began to take shape. Did he meet someone online? His family insisted he had no known online profiles. Was he groomed? Police found no evidence of online predators contacting him. Did he intend to disappear? He left no note, no goodbye. Could he have been abducted? But why was he seen walking alone? And one other theory persisted, one whispered by strangers on forums but never confirmed. Was someone waiting for him in London? In 2008, a year after his disappearance, a new possible sighting emerged. A man told police he'd seen a boy matching Andrew's description in Covent Garden, but the sighting was never verified. In 2018, over a decade later, two men were arrested in connection with a human trafficking network. They allegedly exchanged messages referencing a boy brought to London, but the connection to Andrew has never been confirmed. In the absence of truth, rumors grow, rumors fester. And Andrew's case was no different. A 14-year-old boy walks into one of the busiest cities in the world and is never seen again. No cameras catch him. No witnesses remember seeing him. Just seems to be a ticket to nowhere and a family left with questions. When a child disappears, theories grow and grow, and they typically end up obscuring the truth. And in the case of Andrew Gosden, these theories, they have only multiplied. Some insist Andrew planned his own disappearance and that the signs were there all along. He withdrew £200, his entire savings, but left behind more money at home. He didn't bring his phone or his passport, but he did choose London, a city he'd never visited alone. He bought a one-way ticket, refusing the return option. He left in his school uniform, drawing less attention. But there's a problem with this theory. Andrew wasn't known to be rebellious. He had no history of running away. His academic record was flawless. He had a close relationship with his family. He had no known mental health struggles. And in his room, nothing suggested a plan. There were no secret messages, no packed bag. Another possibility is far darker, that Andrew was lured to London by someone he met online. His family insists he didn't have social media, but Andrew was highly intelligent, skilled with computers, and known for his interests in technology. Is it possible that he could have hidden an online profile or used a device his family didn't know about? Police looked into this but could never confirm it. His home computer showed no signs of secret communication, his accounts were untouched, and nothing was found on school networks. If he was communicating with someone, there was no evidence of it. Some believe Andrew chose to vanish, not out of rebellion, but out of a deep private motive. Was he struggling with his life? Did he feel trapped by the expectations of his academic success? Did he dream of a life beyond Doncaster, one his family couldn't understand? Psychologists who study the case suggest a subtle form of voluntary disappearance, where a person chooses to walk away from their life without warning. But Andrew's family insists it just doesn't fit. He was bright, he was focused, and more importantly than anything, he was loved. But if Andrew didn't disappear voluntarily, then someone must have been involved. Did someone see him walking out of King's Cross and follow him? Was he targeted by a predator? Or did he walk into a prearranged meeting that ended up being a trap? Police have investigated and dismissed numerous suspects over the years. A man who claimed he saw Andrew in Covent Garden but vanished. A tip about the video game shop where he was seen with two men. That was unconfirmed. And of course, the lead about the human trafficking network mentioning a boy taken from London that was never confirmed. Each possibility raised new questions but never brought answers. One of the most chilling theories is also one of the simplest, that someone was waiting for him, that Andrew was somehow lured to London, that he arrived at King's Cross Station, stepped out of the station, and walked straight to someone he thought he could trust. But who was it and why? In the years that followed, investigators have uncovered a few disturbing possibilities. In 2021, a tip suggested a boy matching his description had been seen working in a hostel, but that was never verified. A 2022 report indicated his national insurance number may have been used, but police investigated and chalked it up as a clerical error. So many threads, and none of them tied to the boy who walked out of King's Cross. For the Gosden family, September 14, 2007 is a date that never ended. A day that stretched into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, and years into silence. Andrew's parents, Kevin and Glennis Gosden, have spent over 15 years searching for their son. They have never moved from their home in Doncaster. Like many parents of missing children, Andrew's bedroom remains untouched. His books are still on the shelf. His video game console still plugged in, waiting for him to return. But at this point, it's not just a room, it's a shrine, a reminder of a boy who walked out the door and never returned. In interviews, Kevin Gosden has spoken openly about the anguish and the guilt that never leaves. I've replayed this morning 1,000 times. Did I miss something? Did I say something wrong? Or was there nothing we could have done? Glennis, too, has never given up hope. Even now, she says she believes Andrew is out there somewhere. Over the years, the Gosden family has launched their own search efforts. They've distributed thousands of missing person flyers across London, created social media campaigns to spread awareness, worked with private investigators combing through rumors and fake sightings, participated in multiple television interviews, documentaries, and podcasts. Kevin has become a quiet advocate for missing children, speaking at public events, writing open letters to the police, and refusing to let this case be forgotten. Every year, the family marks another birthday without Andrew. Some of the big ones: his 18th, his 21st, his 30th. Milestones measured in absence. They've imagined what he might look like now: older, taller, maybe with a beard. But the truth is, the boy they lost will always be 14. For London, Andrew's disappearance was just another story. One boy among millions, one more face on a missing person poster. But for the Gosdens, London is a wound, a city they once loved, now a labyrinth of unanswered questions. Kevin Gosden has one message for his son, one he's repeated countless times: Andrew, wherever you are, we love you. You're not in trouble. Please come home. Andrew Gosden was just 14. He walked into a city of millions, walked out of the view of the camera, and disappeared. Maybe he chose to disappear. Maybe he was taken. Or maybe, hopefully, he is still out there. But wherever he is not forgotten. This is the Midnight Mystery Archive. I'm Kevin. Tonight, we walked a path into the unknown, following the footsteps of a boy who vanished without a trace. You're listening to the Midnight Mystery Archive. Every week, Tuesdays and Fridays, a new episode covering cases from around the world. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Stay tuned for more.